Hi, my name is Ann Finger, and I'm a writer of both fiction and creative nonfiction. I'm also part of the disabled community, and my creative capital project is a book-length collection of personal essays, which explores how disability shows up in the landscape of Berlin. The theme is kind of me wheeling through Berlin and visiting these places. I'm interested in how disability can be a site of trauma, but also a site of celebration and community and joy. And I think we're ready for our first slide. This slide shows a stumbling block. These are part of a project that's happening throughout Germany, and they're very small, almost unobtrusive brass plaques that are set in the pavement. And they mark the places where the victims of Nazi murder lived immediately before they were deported or killed. So these, of course, include Jews and Jehovah's Witnesses and also disabled people. And this particular plaque commemorates a disabled child who was killed at the age of 2, her life being deemed unworthy of life. And this notion that some lives are more valuable than others and other lives are without value is one that certainly has a lot of resonance for us today with our recent experience of the pandemic and the uprising for racial justice. So we see disability in expected places, but we also see it in unexpected places. These two Victorian gentlemen are, of course, Marx and Engels. And one of my essays, Men of Bronze, explores how disability shows up in their works and lives. And I'm going to begin with Engels' early book, The Condition of the Working Class in England, which he wrote in 1844 when he was in Manchester, working in his father's factory, part of the oppressive system that he was seeking to overthrow. So I'm going to read a little bit from this essay just to give you a flavor of my writing. In the park in what was once East Berlin, the two Victorian men of bronze are shown in the prime of their lives, clad in unwrinkled trousers, vest, frock coats, arms rigid, feet planted squarely on the earth. Melt bronze into flesh, allow the years to dissolve, and see Engels as a youth, 24, a tad awkward still, spotty-faced, sitting at a makeshift desk in his childhood bedroom, jouncing his left leg up and down. He gives off a scent of bratwurst, cheese, eggs, and rye bread as his innards work at digesting his breakfast, discharging an occasional fart. The table is piled with newspapers, reports, towers of books, threatening to tip over. He's not so different from many 20-somethings today, striking out into the world and then boomeranging home, convinced that the work he's doing will change the world, despite all evidence to the contrary. After all, he's back in his childhood bedroom, the parents he broke from a few years before, now putting up with him with a mix of fond indulgence and barely concealed irritation. He has just written the words, "The youngsters are small, stunted, weak, and often deformed." He pauses, dips his pen in the ink bottle, and adds the word severely before deformed, then continues, "In the Villanol workshops, continuous filing at the lathe has been responsible for innumerable bent backs and crooked legs. One leg only is affected, and the result is that the legs have the shape of a letter K. The deformed leg is popularly called the hind leg." At times, Condition of the Working Class reads like a disability studies text. There's so much disability in there. Disability is also a site of celebration and joy and community. This is my friend Rebecca at the Berlin's Disability and Mad Pride Parade that happens every year, with a sign that says walking is overrated. This is a slide that came out sideways. This person is actually wearing this as a headdress, but that's okay. And it's made out of Zyprexa, which is an antipsychotic medication. And he's one of the marchers in the parade. There we go. So what I need for this project to be completed, I'd love an agent and a publisher And I would also love a wheelchair accessible place to stay in Berlin. For free would be great. And I'm also hoping to sell my literary archive. So thank you all very much. I can relax now and enjoy myself. Thank you.